because I don't want to forget that, because that could be a problem. You go ahead, Sarah. Close that door. All right. All righty then. Let me get
I just lost everybody.
You did?
Oh, I see you.
Chuck, you doing okay? Really good?
Yeah, doing fine. Just slammed.
Yeah, no kidding.
A lot of people are saying that.
I've started a new avenue of like content creation for preschools. I just did a fraternity house down at U of L, and I just scored a $1,400 bid for an interior design company. It's been, people want stuff. People want to spend money.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's move forward. So guys, just FYI, tomorrow night, 7 to 8, if you can be there. That's the seller. We're trying it one more time. If it doesn't turn out, we're not going to do anything anymore of that. If you can make it, great. If not, I understand. So the workshop was this past Thursday is what I'm getting at on this. So
Yeah.
All right. Getting the timer out. Everybody ready on all sides? I guess we are. Okay. I got a lot of stuff to go over, including this thing I sent to you guys earlier. But we're going to finish or pick up on how safe is your home. Of course, it'd be nice if I had that in front of me.
Like when like how safe your home was that got broken into with the
No. We started it last week.
Oh.
Yeah. Did any of you see the picture that the agent had posted that she was coming out of a bedroom? She thought there was a chin-up bar over the master bedroom door.
No.
And it was a loaded shotgun with a bandolier of shells, and they're out in the open, loaded, ammo hanging all over it.
Oh wow.
Just in case when you're ready, you just
while your house is being shown. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, where did that come out? Just out of curiosity.
I just saw it on Facebook a couple days ago from one of the agents I'm friends with. But that's the kind of some of the safety we were talking about last week, Greg, was leaving prescriptions out and not securing them from kids as well as people going through your house.
I was in one the other day they had like dog prescription for like dog medication, but it was pain medication for dogs. I was like, you need to put that away.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to make sure. I was just moving it for the pictures, and I was like, you guys probably shouldn't leave this out. Just saying.
Okay, yeah, that's a problem. I know.
Saying.
Whoops, that's not what I want. Sorry about that. Timer. All right. Okie doke. We are ready. I got everything I think I need. Coming at you. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. News Radio 840 WHAS. Good Sunday morning. Bob Sokoler, the Louisville Real Estate Show, here with you for the next 30 minutes or so. Another one of our COVID shows, which means each of us are coming from either our homes, home office, work office, could be anywhere. With us, as we want to welcome on a weekly basis, my buddy Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Good to have you here, Chuck.
Good to see you.
Yep. Oh, you sound good. You're using an external headset there.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, very nice.
I'm catching up with the century.
Very good. And Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. They do inspections in teams, hire vets. You can reach them at 357-0813, and he's got an upgraded mic as well.
I do. Hopefully, I'm coming through loud and clear. So
and your camera looks amazing, I must say. You've got
Does
some
it?
nice bokeh, a little nice blur in the background. You're super sharp. I'm just
wow.
And that's the voice of my son Greg, who returns. He's been so busy he hasn't made the past couple of shows, but he's
it's been crazy.
Taking a little Sunday morning break. Back. Good to hear. Good to see. And then, of course, Bob Sokoler. You can reach me anytime with Remax Properties East to list or to buy. 3765483. It's a busy week for a lot of people. Let's go around the horn. Let's start with Brad. You were telling me before we hit the air, and by the way, if you want to see a replay of this visually, you can. It's done simply. You go to LouisvilleAnswers.com. It's a redirect to our YouTube channel, LouisvilleAnswers.com. How did the week go for you this past week?
It was a record week. It's just hard to understand exactly what's going on in the real estate market right now. Yeah, record week for a back to school week. That is very, very unusual. But we've had I think we're 5-6 weeks almost in a row of records. So it's I mean, glad to see it, but it's hard to figure out what September is going to look like. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you from your end of the spectrum of closings? I know you do a lot of them.
Yeah, we're doing a bunch.
That's it.
We're doing a bunch.
Good.
I don't know what to say other than the fact that usually this time of year is lighter, and Sherry and I can usually go somewhere for our anniversary. But even if it wasn't for this COVID, we'd be sticking in town.
You might have hit on something there. The fact, you can't go anywhere. No one can go anywhere.
I know.
So if you've got extra money to burn, and people do right now, some people
buy a house.
Buy a house if you've got that equity. And I think to Brad's perspective, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on with the market. And I truly, truly believe we're seeing people move away from big cities. I mean, if you read anything what's going on, rentals, LA, San Fran, New York City, Chicago, I mean, all these big cities, rentals, people are emptying out, and they're taking that money that they thought they've made, or maybe they're saving because, rent's crazy there. You can take your rent money and buy something in Louisville for what you're doing there. Mm-hmm. And so we're just seeing this continued flood of people coming here. So we're just, and school is at home. So people want bigger space to do more. As you can see in my background, we're training an agent. I've got my other sister upstairs.
She's downstairs behind you now.
Well, no, that's Case.
I think that's your sister, my daughter.
She might have snuck by too. Ashley's somewhere in the house. Everyone's working.
I was going to say,
everybody's
that's
working.
The flood of people that you're talking about.
That's exactly right.
Just right.
It's more than that.
Here.
So, all right, but a little later on in today's show, how safe is your home and what you need to do to double check. We started that last week. We're carrying that over. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Some other news that we should point out. U.S. home sales rose a record-breaking 24.7% in July. That extends June's rebound after the coronavirus pandemic. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. That's great news. The average new home price now $16,000 higher due to lumber. Have you folks been hearing about this?
Yes.
Recent spike, softwood lumber prices caused the price of average.
Our builder that we work with regularly, he is writing now, and a lot of builders are doing this. They're writing in contingencies into their new contracts stating that buyers will pay up to a certain cap if during the building process, lumber and material prices continue to increase. So we're seeing a lot of that too.
So on closings, are the two of you, Brad and Chuck, are you seeing new construction closings increase as opposed to last year, since the inventory is so tight on resales?
I would say from the inspection side, we're doing a lot of new home, construction inspections this year, probably on pace with last year, maybe a little bit ahead. But
with the houses that you're seeing, are they are they the higher priced houses, or are they below 300?
No, almost all of them are going to be the higher price points, probably over 350, over 400. We've seen just a handful of new builds that are, probably under 250. Some have been infill homes that we've inspected that are new, but
we've personally seen on our average price point sales have jumped, and we discussed this earlier in the year. They were already kind of on the rise just due to inventory, and now they're jumping even higher. And I think that's obviously due to lower interest rates. I mean, we bumped into a new house and my mortgage payment is very close to what it was based off. I mean, it's crazy. It's
because of lower interest rates.
Because of lower. I mean, we almost saved a point and a half almost. And some people that have been sitting around can do even better.
And I'm waiting to get over to Chuck's office to refi. It was supposed to be this week. Well, that's been pushed, I guess, till next week. So
I thought it was going to be this week, but I didn't see it on the calendar when I was looking this morning.
No, everybody, they're so busy. Every loan officer and mortgage
underwriters are buried. And then, of course they want your unborn's blood to verify that you're soluble through this pandemic, because it's a real fear. But I mean, the good thing is they're doing their due diligence to make sure we don't have a major issue coming off the back end that we already may have from other problems.
Yep. Back to Brad for a moment. We should point out that even if you are building and having a builder build a house for you, it is still very important to go ahead and have it inspected prior to closing. You want to expound on that for just a sec?
Yeah, a lot of builders, they're great builders in town. They work with subcontractors, and the challenges in the new construction process is where the two subcontractors' work meets. So we see attics that are not insulated. We see, HVAC supply air vents, in the floor that are covered by the flooring. The holes are never cut. We had a home earlier in the year. You've heard the story that they forgot to cut a door in a room in the basement. So, and it's big things like that, but it's a lot of small things that have nothing to do with what the code inspectors are looking for, which is what you always hear. It's only going to be as good as what the subcontractors are able to do. And usually, we find. I can't say we find a whole lot of things. Some brand new houses we find very few, but the things that we do find can be significant in cost and repair. So it just goes to the builder's punch list, and that's for us, that our whole role is to help make that the easiest process possible, moving into that home and have all those little things taken care of.
I would tell you, listen, they're great builders, but their subs may not be as on target as.
Well, and it's important because if you ever talk to any builders right now, subs are even harder to come by because new construction is so rampant here. Finding good qualified subs, and our builder will tell you, it's hard. So knowing who's there on any given day, and some of the best people in town that we know are still hiring out, and you see there's some questionable things.
All right, so going forward, sellers returning to the housing market. They're moving out of big cities, going into the suburbs. That's big news since COVID. But something else that was interesting, this just came out this past week, 64% of more than 1,000 home buyers recently surveyed say they are willing to go over budget for their perfect house. The sentiment is particularly strong for millennials, Greg. 76% of millennials say they're willing to pay more for a home, according to a recent Lending Tree survey, which, of course, you've got to be qualified to be able to buy that home. But if you've got a budget in mind, you end up seeing a bigger price tag because
and
you
just
want more.
And just so that we're clear on what millennials are, we're 30 to 42 years old now. So we are in the market. We have money to spend, and for the most part, we have kids. We have young kids, and they're home right now, and no one wants to be around in tight knit quarters. So the need to, you talk to a bunch of millennials that while we're very cautious about this pandemic, and we don't want to get our parents sick and everybody, our kids are on top of us, and it's crazy.
So Chuck, back to you for a sec. When you're doing closings, I know you don't necessarily keep a record of whether it's older or younger, but have you seen a lot? And I know as you get older, everybody looks younger to you.
Yes. I was going to point that out, Bob.
Yes, I am thinking like it here. So, but do you notice a trend where you've got younger people coming in the front door to close on a home?
Well, I actually was thinking about that last week. It's like everybody I'm seeing is so young. And in fact, they do fit right into that 35, 42 age range, I would think. Now there's there's all kinds, but
now,
I'm
Chuck,
seeing a lot of younger.
The sellers on the other side, are they typically older?
Yeah, you know that.
Yep. Just saying.
Yeah.
This is a good point because we always talk about where the Louisville market is.
But then they're moving into a house themselves, and they're going up to the higher price points.
Right. Absolutely.
The interesting thing, back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and 12, we worked with a number of builders that when the market crashed, a lot of them got out of the business because it was just that bad. But last week, it was reported that applications for new home purchases with builders were 39% higher than in July of 2019, a year before, which is a clear indication that builder confidence is soaring.
Building permits.
Building permits. People who are starting.
There's the major, and I don't know if we know, a major builder that just put a halt on new construction contracts because there goes back to material costs, but they've seen there's so many permits pulled. They know what they're up against in the coming months, year, depending on where the market settles, especially with an election year coming up.
Competition is what you're saying on that, huh? No, that's possible. But I think overall, the fact that resale homes are so few to find that the only other option is to build. And that's why I think you're seeing this resurgence of building or to rent, and you're wasting money, obviously throwing down money. But so bottom line is, I think we can all agree that looking at this from the 4,000 foot level, looking down, the real estate market's in great condition with a lot of positives going back for all of us. Anything that we need to be worried about in this type of thing, Brad? Certainly, one of the things we'll talk about next week is how to write a better offer so that if you're in a bidding war, you have a better shot at getting that offer accepted. But from a standpoint, one thing that, and you won't be on the show next week, but it's important to point out, is some agents will suggest not doing a home inspection, just taking a home as is. That is a concern right there.
Yeah, and we're still hearing that. And we've done some inspections here over the last month for people who purchased homes earlier in the season and were advised by their agent, because the market was getting hot, that they should forego the inspection in order to, have a better chance of having an offer accepted. And now we've done a few inspections recently where we're going back in behind, showing them all the things that they're now going to have to repair, all of the things that they're now responsible for. But it's kind of like buying a house as is. The only problem is none of these folks were able to budget for what those repairs were going to cost, and they depended on seller disclosure forms, which didn't show all of the challenges that there really were in the house. So
yeah,
that's a risk.
Chuck, quickly, if you're sitting at a closing table and all of a sudden the buyers and the buyer agent comes in and says, hey, the walkthrough didn't go very well, we've got these problems. A lot of times it's on your shoulders to try to work this out so that both sides can move forward legally and ethically. Any of that happening in your closing offices in the past couple of weeks, months?
Yeah, we're actually getting a fair amount of that coming in. They'll go do the walkthrough and they'll find out that maybe some work wasn't done, or it was done improperly. It boggles my mind. Why would you close if that is the case? I mean, if it's something small and, you're willing to...
Say, just for instance, we just had something, sorry, Chuck. We just had something happen that we closed, and it was an HVAC thing where they had receipts. And it's one of those things where it's hard to see. Like I think you were just getting ready to say, it's one of those things, it's an easy thing to see if it's a small thing. But this was an HVAC issue where the company, who will not be named, came out, said they did a fix. And then the client, this is in a home in Norton Commons, the client called us and said, hey, we're having some HVAC problems still. Can you double check on what we said was going to be fixed? So we called back that large company, and the manager of the company basically said, no, this needed to be done. This needed to be done. It wasn't done, but their receipt said everything had been done. So we had to cross-reference. Long story short, they went back in. It was a damper thing. That company went back out, made good of it, but there was, and it goes back to the subs and hiring and finding good people, where the person on the ground said one thing and the owner or the manager knew it was something different, and it got taken care of, but we're seeing that too.
So, Chuck, you're seeing this problem occur more often than in the past, correct?
Yeah, I'm seeing it happen more often than in the past, but the advice is always the same. I mean, if it's something that you are willing to accept, if absolutely nothing is done, well, then, go ahead and roll your dice if you want. But why would you close until you know it's been done on something important? The liability is just too great.
Yeah, understood. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to continue looking at some of the things to check and double check with safety within your home, since we're spending a lot more time and as we're going into fall and winter. On the air, in their own offices or studios or homes, wherever it might be, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices, they do a great job getting the homes closed, as you can hear from Chuck and his experience. 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service. You can reach him anytime and his team at 357-0813. They hire veterans, and it's a great way to pay back to the vets. My son Greg, who does our marketing, photography, and so much more. And we're continually looking to list and help sell buyers' home, but also listing is so important for us. You can reach me, Bob Sokoler, anytime at 376-5483. You can also see what people are writing about us, LouisvilleZillow.com, and also LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. Back in a moment on News Radio 840 WHAS. News Radio 840 WHAS, Bob Sokoler and the Louisville Real Estate Show here with you for a little while longer. Here with us in the studio, Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Brad Lauder, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 350, make that 357-0813.
There you go.
357-0813. My son Greg does our marketing and photography, and you can reach me, Bob Sokoler. As Barbara Corcoran was talking about, we can do a guaranteed sell program where we sell your home for guaranteed in a matter of hours, weeks, months, whatever you decide. And you can always cancel at any time with our guaranteed sell program. And you can reach me on that, 376-5483. But most people want us just to list and sell their home like we do quickly with so many others. All right, so we're back with more on, we're going to be spending a lot of time, guys, in our homes. We started this last week. I thought it was so important that we talk a little bit more about safety, and certainly volunteer if you've had this problem. Because the first one I'm going to bring up for today, I had tumbled down the stairs, usually painful, but in some cases it can result in broken bones or even death. So you want to keep your staircase clear of clutter and make sure that the carpet runners are secure, tacked down, and repair damaged banisters or balusters right away.
Or in your case, was it fireproof steps? The steps, the concrete steps with the slippage needed to be put in properly? What are you talking when you fell down the stairs?
That was 25 years ago.
It brought back a lot of memories.
Yeah, memories. I slipped down some steps a long time ago. No, what brings to my case is living in my house now for more than 3 years, but when we bought it, a handrail going down to the basement. But we knew that going in. I didn't have a handrail. So just this past 2 weeks ago, I went to the local big box store, bought a handrail, put it in a matter of a couple of minutes, and so made that safe. And it's pretty good. I'm actually pretty proud of my work on that. On windows, even if you live in a single-story house, a fall from a window can cause injuries in young children, and especially if you're on a two-story house and you go to clean the windows, like a friend of mine did, first name Gary, won't give his last name, and he was up cleaning the windows and he fell from the ladder, breaking, I believe, both feet. So don't do that, folks. Keep windows locked or install child-proof window jams, wedges, so curious little ones can't open them on their own. Electrical outlets. Brad, what are some of the problems that you see with electrical outlets besides the reverse polarity?
Yeah, the biggest issue that we run into are covers that are missing or broken. You know, they cost less than $1 for a new one. Please replace those. That's the biggest thing they can do. The other thing for children, if you got small kids in the house, the little plastic pieces that you put in there to protect them, the kids pop out anyway. It's better to just use the tamper resistant outlets. They only cost a few dollars to replace them. It's really just, newer homes are going to have those probably already, but those tamper resistant ones will keep all sorts of objects out of the outlets.
Except for the ground cable hole, which I found my toddler sticking headphone jack into, but it's a ground, so
yeah. Well, that's true if it's wired properly. Greg.
It's new construction.
Okay.
Oh, trust me. Sure.
Okay.
It's tamper. It's a tamper-proof one too. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. But those are the other thing. And then the other one I would warn you about are broken switches. I go into a lot of houses that have those kind of flat switches, the newer ones, but those break and people don't replace them. Again, it's a simple fix, but a lot of times those will actually be broken so much that you'll have wires that are, almost exposed.
Wow.
So you take care of anything that looks like it's close to metal.
It's funny when you were talking about the plastic safety covers for outlets. I brought to mind Chuck Crosby's radiator nacho comments about lead paint chips. Chuck, anything that would be appropriate for these plastic safety covers that really don't do a good job that kids pull out?
No, duct tape is about the only thing. But why would you keep yourself from the joy of watching your firstborn stick a fork in a?
Yeah,
I mean, come on, it's instant knowledge.
Oh yeah, hopefully that they don't kill themselves.
As long as you have a spare child, Chuck. I mean,
Chuck, I've got tons of them.
You have
several. All you want, we'll make more.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to fireplaces. Chuck, do you have a fireplace in the new?
I do.
I know you had it inspected. When you look before you light a fire. I'm assuming or presuming it's a gas fireplace.
Right.
Yeah. Do you check the box to make sure there's no cracking in the box along the brick or mortar?
I had it inspected and cleaned. We do that every year or so.
Okay, good.
So
Good
I
for
presume
you.
they're doing it.
Well, we hope so that a chimney sweep is doing it, Brad. But you guys find these cracks which could create air pockets, or what problems that you find?
Yeah, so we do, particularly for the wood burning or fireplaces that burn wood. That is the bigger concern. The refractory panels are often cracked. They're loose. And you'll also have a lot of evidence of creosote. It's shiny when you look at it. It looks like just shiny tar. Those are all indications that you need to have that fireplace clean. That's the biggest thing. The other thing that we see are a lot of vented gas logs that do not have the dampers open. They should have a little stopper on them to keep the vent, the fumes from going up into the chimney rather than back into the house. A lot of times those are missing and the dampers are completely closed, which is going to put carbon monoxide back into the room.
Something that worries me that, cause I'll tell you my personal experience in a second, is a cleaning supply cabinet, which for many people it's under the sink. You keep items that you're going to use to clean the house or the kitchen, bleach, maybe drain openers, oven cleaners. They're all potent chemicals capable of delivering a contact burn to the skin of threatening injuries if swallowed. This past week, I went ahead and from the garage, I had taken a bottle of cleaner for my leather couches, which is not so it had some wax in it and it wasn't very caustic. Tried cleaning the couch a little bit and then put it up on a counter, not realizing that with my German Shepherds, they love to counter surf no matter what you're doing. Turn my back and next thing I know, they've got a hold of that bottle. And now it's not toxic, but it brought to mind this particular concern. Do we put locks? Well, for dogs. So Chuck, do you have any pets at your house?
Yeah, we got 2 cats.
Okay, so cats can be smart. Do they know how to open
They don't have
door?
opposable thumbs, Bob.
No,
they lack the opposable thumbs.
No, you don't need opposable thumbs.
My cats are too old to do anything. They're just a couple of crotchety old biddies. Yeah. But my sister's cat down in Atlanta, Turbo, they put their dogs in the kennel or whatever. They have these big kennels in the basement. Turbo likes to play with the dog, so it'll go down, it'll open the kennel. Open, slide, have the door open. Dogs are out when they come home. That cat plays fetch. You throw a ball, it will go fetch it and bring it back.
That's kind of cat.
Good
your
cat.
Phone rings, it will carry the Bluetooth to you.
Wow. That's great.
Bob, so, you need one of those cats.
Yeah, I got you. So just so you know, just be cautious of this, folks, is where I'm getting at.
Especially with kids. Pets, they're important. Kids, they're important too.
Yeah.
Take all you want, we'll make more.
Listen, you see, the millennials, we're moving away from these caustic chemical cleaners. We're all
environmental
natural,
friendly, free.
Use a little lemon, some natural. It can cook fish. Why can't it disinfect your countertop? I don't know.
So, final couple of things here. Laundry room, clothes dryer, one of the most common culprits when it comes to home fires. Brad, you want to expand on that for a minute?
Yeah, people need to make sure that the vents are cleaned periodically. You should not have plastic flecks from the back of your dryer. If you do, please get with someone that can either put the smooth aluminum or galvanized pipe in there for you. It's not difficult. It's much safer, much easier to keep clean. But yeah, the lint will heat up and it can cause fires in those vent lines. So you definitely want to maintain those. Yeah,
if you can vacuum them out, that's one thing to do, but to have it done professionally. I know there are companies out there that actually do that professionally, right?
Yeah. There's some that just do dryer vent cleaning, people that do duct cleaning also clean out dryer vents.
Yeah, it's an important thing, especially most of us have dryers in the house. Make sure it's clean, even though you're cleaning out the vent trap in the dryer itself. You need to go back behind it or around it and clean out or replace that other metal hose or plastic hose that Brad's talking about. Finally, front door. I can't tell you how many times I see front doors cluttered with boxes, maybe deliveries. Okay, I got that. But furniture, walk around blocked with toys, garden hoses, garden tools are all tripping hazards. And certainly, and a deck as well can be a tripping hazard. And I know, Chuck, if you have a bigger deck, you're more inclined to add more things to the deck to maybe enjoy it more. Just check around there. Have you checked recently? Make sure there are no tripping hazards for you or Sherry walking in and out of the doors?
Well, if there is, I would have found it. I trip constantly. But, yeah, so she makes me walk in front of her.
Good. Oh, so if anyone's going to get a cobweb, you're the one who's going to get it.
I'm the one.
Good. All right. Well, hopefully that helped a lot of folks. And again, if you want more information, send me an email, bob@wesellouisville.com, and we'll get you a copy of this. Again, we thank Chuck Crosby, the Crosby Law Offices at 499-6360. Brad Lawler, owner of Home Team Inspection Service, 357-0813. My son, Greg, who does our marketing and pictures and so much more. He was able to join us today. And you can reach me anytime to help you sell, or one of our 15 agents to help you buy. 376-5483. And a reminder, if you want to see what people are saying about us, go to LouisvilleZillow.com or head to LouisvilleSellersTalk.com. And if you want to see some of the stuff that Greg does up online, go to LouisvilleThreed.com. We're out of time, folks. We will see you next Sunday right here on News Radio 840 WHAS. Okay, guys, that was simple.
Alrighty.
Simple.
I will get this rolling and get this out, and then we'll see you next. I'll see you in 3 weeks, if not.
Yes.
Alrighty.
Chuck, I'll see you sooner. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you sooner.
And tomorrow night.
And tomorrow
All
night.
right.
Yeah, remember
Yeah.
tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. You got it.
I'll be on there with you.
Okay, great. If you
Okay.
can, Chuck, great. If not, Greg, if you want to.
We'll
as
see
well.
what we can do.
I'll see,
Okay.
see what tomorrow
All right.
brings.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, guys.
See you
Take
guys.
care. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
How do I get out of